What does international law say about state-sponsored violence? Have you ever wondered how international law views state-sponsored violence? This topic is crucial in understanding the relationship between states and the use of force. International law clearly prohibits the use or threat of force by states against the territorial integrity or political independence of other states. This prohibition is outlined in the United Nations Charter. The Charter emphasizes that states must avoid acts of violence that contradict the purposes of the United Nations, including state-sponsored violence. State-sponsored violence can take many forms. It includes direct military aggression and indirect support for violent non-state actors, often labeled as state-sponsored terrorism. In this context, state-sponsored violence refers to a state providing support like training, arms, intelligence, or sanctuary to non-state groups that carry out violent acts on behalf of the state. International law has faced challenges in defining terrorism consistently. However, it generally involves intentional violence aimed at civilians or political targets to create fear or coerce governments. The international legal framework condemns states that engage in or enable such violence, as it threatens international peace and security. From a liberal perspective, which values democratic institutions, human rights, and the rule of law, state-sponsored violence is a clear violation of international norms. Liberalism emphasizes accountability, transparency, and respect for individual rights. When a state engages in violence, it compromises these principles. State-sponsored violence often suppresses dissent and violates human rights, undermining the ideals of peaceful coexistence and cooperation among states. International law provides mechanisms to address state-sponsored violence. These include sanctions, international criminal prosecutions, and diplomatic measures. The United Nations Security Council can impose targeted sanctions on states or entities involved in sponsoring terrorism. These sanctions may include travel bans and asset freezes. However, enforcing these measures can be complicated due to political considerations and differing interpretations of what constitutes state sponsorship. In essence, international law prohibits state-sponsored violence as an unlawful use or support of force, especially when it targets civilians or undermines the sovereignty of other states. From a liberal standpoint, such actions contradict democratic governance and international cooperation. This requires strong legal and institutional responses to uphold peace, human rights, and the rule of law. Understanding these principles helps us grasp the importance of maintaining a just international order.